Welcome back to the DRO Bets channel, and today we are talking 2025 MLS Cup Futures bets. Now, last season I made two futures bets. You can listen to the Bet MLS podcast to check my work on Seattle and the LA Galaxy, and I hit the LA Galaxy at 25 to 1 to win MLS Cup. So today we are going to go over the things you need to know about when you're placing futures bets, and my three favorite futures bets I will be placing. Two of them at about 20 to 1 odds and one all the way up to 50 to 1. So let's get right into it. So the first thing on my mind when I am looking at MLS Cup futures odds is you don't want to take favorites. And of course, we have to talk about Inter Miami at plus 350. You just cannot do that. Now, if you look at it, you're probably going to get almost the same plus 350 odds throughout the season. So why would you place that bet now and risk Messi getting hurt and it's game over? And then next up, I generally just want to avoid the Eastern Conference. Now, one of my picks is going to be an Eastern Conference team. However, teams like FC Cincinnati, Orlando City, Columbus, obviously Miami, there are so many good teams in the Eastern Conference. It's very difficult to identify who can get through and very difficult to identify any values in the Eastern Conference. And then when you are placing these futures bets, you also want to have a hedge in mind because if you were like me and you were holding a 25 to 1 LA Galaxy ticket at MLS Cup last year when they were favorites over the Red Bulls, it was a very easy hedge for me to be able to put a little bit of money on the Red Bulls to lift the cup. I think it was like plus 200 to guarantee myself some money. So you want to be looking at those hedge opportunities as well when you're holding potentially a 20, 22 to 1, 50 to 1 chance at the MLS Cup winner. And finally, very important before we get into the picks is you want to shop around because while regular games and regular weeks, the lines aren't that different from book to book. MLS Cup odds, it can be very different. You may see a team you like and you could get $5 or $6 better of odds. So you definitely want to shop around on the picks that you like. All right, now let's get into the picks. So, as I mentioned in my tips, where I am starting is the Western Conference. That's really where I'm looking for most of my value here. And when you look at the Western Conference, LAFC is coming in at plus 600. They're the favorite to come out of the West. I don't see a lot of value in that. I think that's pretty fairly placed. I don't really want to bet LAFC at plus 600. I hate the LA Galaxy at like plus 900. I think they're the second favorite out of the West. They lost Ricky Puig. He's probably not coming back for the entire season. Dejan Joveljic is gone. I don't know where the goals are going to come from. Paintsel has a serious injury as well. Got to avoid the Galaxy. So that brings me to my first pick, and that is going to be the Seattle Sounders at 20 to 1 odds. Looking at Seattle, I really like the moves they made in the offseason. They went and got Jesus Ferreira, a former best 11 MLS player, starting forward for the national team in the World Cup. They go and get him from FC Dallas. I think he's going to have a bounce back season as he tries to get that move to Europe, where if he does have a good season, I see that happening for him. They added Paul Arriola as well, who was the captain of FC Dallas. And then you add them to an attacking front that I think might be the best in the Western Conference. You have Ferreira. You have Jordan Morris, you have Pedro de la Vega, who's a year removed from his knee injury. So many times we see players really get back to their best form in that second year after. And then you have Albert Rusnak behind them. So that is a really good front four. And I see them as probably the second favorites in the Western Conference. And we're talking about at 20 to 1 to win MLS Cup with hedge odds. And I really only like maybe LAFC above him. I love those odds, and I'm going to be putting some money on the Seattle Sounders at that number. The second pick today, and the only one from the Eastern Conference, is going to be Atlanta United at 22 to 1. Now, the East is stacked, like I mentioned. Columbus, Cincinnati, Miami, Orlando, lots of options. But Atlanta had money in the offseason and they emptied the clip. They went and broke the MLS transfer record, signing Emmanuel Latte Lath from Middlesbrough. He's one of the leading scorers in the championship. They went and got Miguel Almiron, the fan favorite, who was one of the best players in league history at Atlanta United. An under the radar signing of Mateus Klick from DC United. That's another designated player that is not counting as a designated player for them. And then don't forget, they signed Alexei Miranchuk from Atalanta. They are stacked, and they went out and they beat, remember, they beat Inter Miami in the playoffs last season. They're coached by Ronnie Delia now, who won MLS Cup in 2021 with NYCFC. So at 22 to 1, I do like Atlanta's chances to at least make the conference championship, which gets you a really good hedge opportunity. And if things don't go well in Miami, we've seen Columbus sell Cucho. We've seen FC Cincinnati sell Lucho Acosta. So I think there is a world where Atlanta might be the second or third best team in the Eastern Conference. And at 22 to 1 MLS Cup, I love that. Now, finally, we have to go big for one of our picks, and we're going back to the Western Conference, and we're going down to Texas, where Austin FC is 50 to 1 to win MLS Cup. Austin missed the playoffs last year, but they were actually a pretty good defensive team. Where they really struggled was on offense. They were the lowest scoring team in the Western Conference. You fast forward to 2025, they sold Sebastian Driussi to Argentina, but they hired Nico Estevez to coach them. I thought he got a raw deal in Dallas. He's getting a second chance in Austin. They went out and signed Brandon Vasquez, who scored 26 goals in his last two seasons at FC Cincinnati, a proven goal scorer in MLS. They won the Supporter Shield when he was the forward there. Then they went out and got another attacking talent in Mirto Ozuni, who scored 11 goals in La Liga last year. He had 14 goals in 18 games in the first half of the La Liga 2 season. So they've improved the attack. And look, is it likely to happen? Absolutely not. But we're talking about a 50 to 1 odds here, where I think Austin FC could go on a sneaky run, maybe make the Western Conference Finals, and then, boy, you are loving that 50 to 1 ticket. So maybe throw a few bucks on these. You definitely don't want to spend a lot of units on futures plays that you're going to have to sit on for about 9 months. But those are my three plays that I will be putting a little bit of money on to win MLS Cup. Let me know in the comments who you think maybe I missed, or your favorite pick for MLS Cup. And we will be back soon. MLS Week 1 lines are out. I can't wait to dig into it. So we will do that very soon. And don't forget to give me the thumbs up. Give me the subscribe, and looking forward to starting the season very soon.